Hey everyone, my name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at some I Don't Work Here Lady stories, so sit back, relax and enjoy. I don't work here, but I am banning you from the store. This just happened 20 minutes ago and still laughing about it. I was in the Bullseye store with the red vests and shirts. I was picking up a few office supplies. I managed 3 restaurants, and one of the office supplies ran low on staples and printing paper, and the supply truck won't be in till the end of the month. I gathered the items I needed and headed to the check lanes. I heard a banshee-like shrill screaming, "Hey, hey you!" I look around and this lady has a person who really does work there cornered, and the poor girl looked to be on the verge of tears. SC is screaming customer, RE is real employee, and me is yours truly. Yes, you, Mr. Manager, come here and discipline your employee. She refuses to help me and was very rude and called me some very bad names. Now, I have read enough of these I don't work here posts and always wondered why no one does this, so I gave it a shot. Me to the real employee. Is this true? Were you rude to this lovely piece of humanity? Which made her kind of giggle. No, I just told her I am on my way home. I just finished my shift. If she needs help, she can ask someone else who would be more than happy and clocked in. When I told her this, she reached for me. I backed off. I don't like strangers touching me and never insulted her. The screaming customer gave a high-pitched shrill that would shatter crystal. Liar! You called me all sorts of bad words. When I find my husband, he will have you fired if you don't do something about it. Lady, I am the district manager. I will ask you to calm down. If you don't, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store. What? Well, I am just very upset, you stupid person. It's been most distressful. In all my years, I have never been treated so horribly. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you aren't settling down. I am going to have to ask you to excuse yourself from the premises or be escorted by security. I pull out my phone and speed dial missed my messages. But my husband? Go to customer service desk, page your husband, and tell him you'll be waiting outside for him while he does the shopping. Now, leave this store immediately. I pretend to talk to security on the phone. Yes, we have an unruly customer who needs to be escorted from the store. The screaming customer throws what she has on the floor and leaves screaming, yelling, threatening to sue and shut down the store. I turn to the real employee and ask if she's okay. She tells me yeah, she didn't know I was in the store but glad I was. I hope I'm not in any trouble. I just worked a double shift and I want to go home. I'm extremely tired and hungry. Nah, you're not in trouble. I don't even work here. After a second or two, it sinks in what I said and real employee begins laughing uncontrollably. I told her I manage the restaurant up the street and she is welcome to come in and have a free meal on my dime. As I leave for the restaurant, I walk through the parking lot and see the screaming banshee customer sitting in a pickup truck on her cell phone. I could hear her muffled screams and crying and figure I better get the heck out of there. The real employee did come into the restaurant to thank me. I told her the offer for the free meal is still good. She took me up on it, but tipped the server really well, even though it was a free meal. We talked and laughed about the banshee, and she laughed even harder when I told the real employee about seeing her sitting in the truck. Is it just me that wants to be in this kind of position as well, just so you can experience that firsthand? That would be amazing. Being mistaken as a waiter at my grandfather's funeral reception. Not exactly a store, but still relevant. So this happened about 5 years ago when my grandfather passed. After the funeral, there was a buffet and reception at a local restaurant. I had finished my food, and so I was heading up to the window where the kitchen was, as I saw some waiters bussing dirty dishes to the window, so I figured it would be helpful if I just took my plate there. As I'm walking over, a woman steps in front of me and blocks my path. She quickly dumps several plates on my pile and very confidently says, "Is it helpful if I just hand you all of our plates?" The woman was my uncle's latest girlfriend. I calmly replied, I don't work here, but I can run these to the kitchen for you, I guess." I was trying to be polite. She gave me a puzzled look and asked, "Then what are you doing at this reception?" I paused for a moment, baffled that she asked me why I was at my own grandpa's funeral. I didn't respond and just walked away. She sits back down next to my uncle and points to me and gives me a nasty look as she is talking to my uncle, presumably asking him who I was. He came up to me a few minutes later and apologized that she had assumed I worked here and just threw a bunch of dishes at me. I saw her outside as we were leaving the restaurant. She came up to me again and said, "That was very rude of you to walk away from someone who's talking to you, young man." I was about 15-ish at the time. It's ruder to give someone else your dirty dishes, especially when that someone just lost their grandfather, but I guess no one ever taught you any manners," I said as I was climbing into my mum's van. I never saw her again. My uncle dumped her basically right after that. Wow, it's a good job the uncle saw the kind of person she really was. It just got rid of her. Good on him. I may be lazy, but I also don't work here. I'm at a 24-hour pet hospital at 1 in the morning, and I hear someone trying to get in. Apparently, they lock the doors at night just in case. I see that it's a man who has a sick-looking dog, so I go ahead and let him in, after I've fumbled with the lock for a while. I tell him the door wasn't locked when I came in, but I think they're, the staff, in with other animals. I then go sit down in the waiting room again. After about a half hour, he is seen by the vet and then comes out and asks me if the door is still locked, to which I reply that I haven't checked. He then cops an attitude at me and says, "Man, you sure like that seat. I wish I had a job where I could sit down all night." I'm sitting in a waiting room, wearing casual clothes. Everyone who works here is in scrubs or a lab coat, waiting for my pet to wake up. But I guess I'm just secretly a really lazy employee. He didn't have much to say when I recovered from my confusion and said I don't work here. Well, obviously he works there because he opened the door for him. If you open the door for someone, you work there. Subway employee thought I was a secret shopper, continued to dig herself into a hole. I walk into a Subway near my place that I would visit often. As I walk in, the restaurant is empty. I got there closer to closing time, so I expected them to be busy cleaning up anyway. And there's a gas station connected, so they could be over there. No big deal, I wasn't in a rush. Finally, the girl walks in from the side door after I stood there for almost 2 minutes, still not bothered. I was in a good mood, so it would take a lot to annoy me. The Subway girl says, "Oh, damn, I didn't see you come in. I was having a smoke." "No problem, I'm in no rush." She starts making my sandwich. "I hope you're not a secret shopper or anything. I'd probably lose my job." "Oh, definitely not. Haha, you're safe." "Right, but you wouldn't tell me if you were anyway." "Well, true, but seriously, I'm just here for a sandwich." She keeps making my sandwich, going on about how she's convinced I'm her secret shopper, and talking about how she didn't care if I was, she'd probably get fired anyway. I don't remember how most of the story goes from there, but she wouldn't back off about it. and then at the end, I accidentally gave her an extra $1 while paying for my sandwich. Is this supposed to be a tip? Me, visibly annoyed, no, I just accidentally gave you an extra $1. The subway girl, somewhat offended, oh. I finally leave, after a longer conversation not worth getting into, but she made it clear she wasn't a great worker wherever she went. So I had a very long conversation with someone about how bad they were at their job, when all I wanted was a sandwich. Unfortunately, no big punchline here, I guess, like some of the gems I've seen on here, but still a story that makes me laugh when I think about it. It sounds to me like she really wanted to be fired, like, please be my secret shopper, I hate this job. Too young to be security. For context, I'm a retail security officer in the UK. My uniform is navy blue, trousers are white with a company marked shirt, and I usually wear a plain black jacket. Not only this, I have a body cam and security license on display and carry a pair of handcuffs. Story time. I was doing a routine check-in with one of the stores when a lady in her late 30s approached me. This is the conversation that followed. Excuse me, where is this item? Hi, sorry, I don't work here. If you speak to anyone with a headset on, they can help you. No, you work here. I know you do. I see you here all the time. Ma'am, that's because I have to check in with the stores. I'm security for the retail park. Listen, you aren't security, you're too young for that. Me showing her my security license. Ma'am, this is my badge. I am security and I'm not too young to be. I'm 20. Listen, if you don't help me right now, I'll tell your manager. Me, at this point becoming annoyed, set my cam to record. In case it escalates, feel free to report me to the store manager, he can confirm I'm not employed by him. Listen, you little brat, don't lie to me, I'll have you fired now and don't record me. Me becoming extremely annoyed. Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to leave me alone before you are asked to leave the store. Karen glances down and notices the handcuffs. I've had enough of this, I'm leaving. One of the staff members had been watching and we had a good laugh over this. Well, ma'am, if you keep on harassing me, you can find out if I'm security or not. To the guy in the depot with the safety vest and the fantastic beard. Thank you. My elderly mother flagged you down and asked you to help us with a sheet of plywood, and I laughed so hard I almost peed when you told her I don't work here. The look of amused horror on your face was absolutely priceless. You were kind enough to take time out of your day to help two crazy old women anyway, and it really made my day. You could have gone about your day without a second thought, but you didn't, and that makes you an amazing person. I hope I was vocal enough with my gratitude. I still forget to use my words a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aw, that's pretty wholesome. I hope if he's listening he knows he did good. A polite I don't work here lady. So recently I had to buy some food for my puppies, and I stopped by a big store after I got out of work. I was still in my job's uniform, which consisted of a pastel pink button-up shirt, black slacks, and a burgundy apron. The uniform for this store is blue and khaki. So I stopped by the restroom, then headed for the pet supplies, when a nice older lady, who was just walking in, caught my attention. Excuse me, miss, could you tell me where the eye hooks are? Oh, not off the top of my head. 1 second, I can just look it up on the app. I pull out my phone. The nice old lady suddenly looked startled, like she just realized that my uniform was way off from where we were. I started chattering away anyway because she just looked so embarrassed and I wasn't trying to make it any worse. Yeah, I know, I've had a heck of a time finding everything since they did that big reset and moved the shelves around last month. I finally caved and downloaded this bad boy when I couldn't find the soy sauce. I never would have found it otherwise. Oh, here we are. Alrighty, looks like it's on aisle number 23. You see the little yellow signs at the end of the aisles? You're looking for 23, which should be down that big aisle over there and on your left. Looks like the eye hooks are around the third of the way down. I hope your crafting goes well, ma'am. Oh, thank you. You didn't have to. Well, thank you. Not a problem. You have a nice day. You too, dear. The nice old lady tottered off and I got my puppy food with no further incident. It could have been worse. That's kinda cool though, I didn't know stores had apps where you could locate stuff in the store. I kinda like that idea. Wow, those two videos look really appealing. I'm gonna have to click at least one of them. Right guys? Click one of them if you wanna see some more stories.